Shalom. So we're going to look at Genesis chapter 9 and verse 22. It says, "And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brethren without." Now, for some reason, when some people read this passage, they see something pertaining to sex. I don't know where that thought came from, or how we can be so perverse that we can see things that are far from being there, right? Let me read it one more time. It says, "And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brethren without." So it says that he saw the nakedness of his father. So let's jump up to verse 21. It says, "And he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent." So here we're seeing that Noah was uncovered, and this had nothing to do with Ham, right? So what people confuse this with is, let us go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, and verse 7, I think. Verse 7, it says, okay, start at verse 6. It says, "None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him, to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord. The nakedness of thy father, or the nakedness of thy mother, shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness." No, uncovering someone's nakedness is not the same as seeing someone's nakedness. And when we come back to Genesis chapter 9, here it says, "And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness," not uncover the nakedness. Because in 21 it says that the guy was drinking, drunk, and for whatever reason he was out of his clothes. Had nothing to do with any of his sons, right? Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brethren without, right? "And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders and went backwards and covered the nakedness of their father, and their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness." So what they did was put something on their shoulders like this. Both of them walked backwards and just tossed it and covered Noah, right? So they did not see Noah naked. Ham saw it, but instead he made a mockery out of it. Rather than giving clothes, that's what he did, use it to disgrace. And I'm just going to go a little bit further on this, because these things happen a lot in so many different ways, where you would see even your enemy within your own nation. So I'm not talking about outside of the nation of Israel. Even someone who you don't pull closely with, but you'll see that they need this clothing, and what you'll do is to capitalize on that rather than help when when it is within your power to actually help, right? And this is why the Messiah said, a lot of us will come to him saying, "Lord, Lord," and he will say he did not know us. And then we're wondering why, but we've been doing all these things. No, because the weightier part of the law is the righteousness of it. So guess what? That person needed clothing, but instead you give it to him. Guess what? You capitalized on the fact that he was absent clothed. No, you start to make a laughter out of it. You start to make a mockery out of it. A lot of us, we have that deep down jealousy, that hatred, that these different spirits we have towards one another. So when we should, have that spirit of compassion and mercy and grace to help each other, we capitalize on their weaknesses. This person is sick, you have this medicine, but rather than you give it to them, you just do what? You sit back and say, there you go. That's it, right? You capitalize on their weaknesses. We don't give people shelter when they needed it the most. We make mockery out of them. We it's like we were waiting to see their downfall. That's not how we should operate in this spirit, in this truth. So Ham did not uncover Noah's nakedness. He saw it, but he did not do what he was supposed to do. Now again, this can go further. Like, some things in life are choices, some things are fated. And when it is fated, you cannot do anything about it. And in this case, as you can see, that Ham was the one that did the deed, but Ham was not the one that was cursed. Because when you go up to verse 1, it says, and God blessed Noah and his sons, including Ham. Right? So who the Most High blessed, he is blessed. Right? Who the Most High cursed, he is cursed. So this is why Noah did not go and curse Ham, because the Most High already blessed him. But he passed it down unto Canaan, one of his sons. Right? And this is how you know this was fated, because later on, after we left Egypt, these nations were destroyed. They were around the Levantine region. Let's get it. Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 1. It says, when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hath cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, seven nations greater and mightier than thou. So this is going back to what? The curse of Canaan. Right? They started giving tribute to us. They had to be subject to us, because back in Genesis chapter 9, it says, and he said, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. That was part of the curse, right? And one more thing, when you get to verse 24, it says, and Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done unto him. It was not Shem and Japheth that told Noah. He awoke and he knew. A lot of us today, right? We're dealing with people who are spiritually connected to the source. And we keep doing all these little things thinking that they won't know. When somebody is spiritual, that's the last thing you want to play with. They either get it by revelations, visions, they be in a trance and they see these things, right? They get it in dreams, or whichever way. It can even come by a feeling nature if that person is connected like emotionally, right? So you have to be careful of how you deal with people, especially people who are rooted into this book, people who are deeply connected through prayers. Their discernment is natural. They don't have to be working hard intellectually to figure out things. It will even be in such a way where your own deeds reveal what you did. So you have to be careful how you deal with people who are anointed. Careful of what you try to hide. Careful of the lies you tell. Careful of the type of energy you bring around them. Because when it comes in contact with that anointing fire, it's going to be hell. Right? So, regarding Ham, no, he did not have sex with his father. He did not remove his father's clothes. He only saw him naked, but he just did not do what he was supposed to do. Clothe him. That's what the other brothers did. Shalom.